invitation. First of all, I'm very glad to be here with you tonight, all of you. This is going to be my last contribution to your training, to your incubation process. Okay? So this is my last session with you, but I'm sure that my colleagues are going to stay supporting you throughout the incubation process. So it was a really pleasure from my side, from my end, to be with you all along this process since the very beginning. Okay, I'm going to start with the presentation, right? If you remember, Mr. Lara, I think your mic is open. Let's get started. Let's see, it's going to work. Let's see, the slides are going to show up. Oh yeah, here they are. Okay. Okay, guys, so you know that all the time, that every time that I'm here with you, I'm talking about mindset and how to think as an entrepreneur and to improve the impact your citizenship behavior. So tonight, I'm going to get back. I think you remember when we were talking about the introduction, what is Buka and Bunny World. This was the first topic of this thematic. And tonight we are going to have a double session that's going to help you to think about the impact of your business. So we are going to talk about circular economy, donut economy, and fair trade. This is what we are going to do tonight. I have requested you to take a look on your Model C Canvas, that one that you have shared with the committee that have been selecting the incubators. You remember that? So I want you to get back there and think about what was the impact that you have been providing, or what was your thesis for the impact at the time, and think about the whole Model C Canvas that you have developed at that time, and how you can improve that from now, thinking about all the information that you have gathered and grasped throughout this process. Okay, but we're not going to start with it. We are going to start with circular economy and donut economy. Okay, so citizenship behaviors and sustainability is something that is very important for the entrepreneurs nowadays. These new terms have been used to refer to business and investment practices that are concerned with sustainability criteria and not only with profit. The entrepreneur's citizenship behavior and the choices that he or she are making in the decision-making process begin with his or her personal behavior for change. The adoption of a true paradigm shift in the relationships between business and their stakeholders has come to be considered part of the financial strategy of companies. So now, starting with these concepts of circular economy and donut economy, we are going to start talking about circular economy. So this concept is that the circular economy aims to reduce waste while also making the best use of the wastes produced by using economically viable processes and procedures to increase their value. Production with the goals of improved economic and environmental sustainability is the goal of this type of business that gets circular economy as part of their impact. So when we are talking about agriculture and circular economy, we need to understand that under the lens of the circular economy, agriculture can offer a multitude of opportunities from primary production using precision agriculture techniques to the recycling and utilization of agricultural wastes and materials. For example, reuse of plastic containers or reusing or using manure or using other types of products. So we are going to go through this. So moving towards the circular economy is an opportunity and a decision. And who makes that decision? The entrepreneur, the business owner, the business leader. So examples of how to get through this type of impact is the safe use of wastewater, water reuse, recycling of irrigation water, manure management, biogas and biofertilizers from manure, precision agriculture, biofertilizers from composting, and other several types of possibilities that we have. So when we are talking about the circular economy, it's something about the impact. When I told you, get back to your Model C canvas and think about your impact. How can we improve your business with this type of concept with your new mindset, right? So I'm going to stop here briefly to just to answer some questions, if you can raise any question. And after that, we are going to jump to donut economy, and you are going to see that these concepts are not the same, but they can be articulated to have a huge impact with your business. I'm not going to have much time because we need to make it very fast tonight because it's a double. But feel free to stop and to um, raise your hands and make questions anytime. Okay? No questions? Okay, no questions for now. So let's move to donut economy. Have you ever heard about donut economy? Circular economy is something more, everybody knows about that, but donut economy is something very new. Have you ever heard about that?
Nope.
No, Mr. Khan? Does
I
anybody?
haven't. I haven't.
Donna know as well?
No.
No, Daisy? So let's move with this idea and how it is going to work. So donut economy is a concept that has been developed recently. It's like 5 to 10 years ago. Kate Hatworth uses a donut as a metaphor for the framework of human prosperity. The whole of the donut represents the proportion of people that lack access to the essentials of life, such as housing, food, water, healthcare, and education. Can you see right now what is the relation with donut economy and circular economy? How can we use the both concepts together? Okay, let's move to the next slide. And here we are going to have a small, very small video that she's Kate, and she's going to briefly explain what she's calling the donut economics, right? So you are going to get it. It's in a glimpse. Let's move it.
Try to draw a picture of the world that we want to live in. And it really that was sound okay. So American one with a hole in it. So imagine a donut. There's the outside, and then there's the inside. There's that hole in it. In the hole in the middle, that's a space of deprivation, space of shortfall where people don't have the resources, essentials of life. Like they don't have enough food, education, they don't have access to electricity, income, they don't have decent health. So it's a space of shortfall, and we want to get people out of that hole in the middle into the donut. But we want to do that for the whole world, making sure that we also don't go beyond the donut's outer crust, because that's a space of ecological overshoot where humanity puts more pressure on the planet than the planet can take. So a few years ago, I tried to draw a picture because I love drawing pictures. I tried to draw a picture of the world that we want to live in. And it, silly though it sounds, it came out looking like a donut, American one with a hole in the middle. So imagine a donut, there's the outside and then there's the inside and there's that hole in the middle. In the hole in the middle, that's a space of deprivation, a space of shortfall where people don't have the resources to meet the essentials of life, like they don't have enough food or education, they don't have access to electricity, enough income, they don't have decent housing. So it's a space of shortfall, and we want to get people out of that hole in the middle into the donut. But we want to do that for the whole world, making sure that we also don't go beyond the donut's outer crust, because that's a space of ecological overshoot where humanity puts more pressure on the planet than the planet can take, and we start causing climate change or massive loss of biodiversity. We start creating a hole in the ozone layer or polluting Earth with chemicals that we add to it. So we need to both get people out of deprivation and poverty, but also protect Earth and protect these fundamental life-supporting systems that keep us alive. Those are the two sides of human well-being, the inside and the outside of the donut. And the 21st century challenge is a unique one. It's to get everybody out of poverty while coming back in at the same time. That's never been taken on before. And that's partly why we need to rewrite economics, because it's a completely new way of looking at what human well-being is.
Okay, we are recording now. Right. Let me jump to that. Okay, so we were talking about donut economics, and now we are going to get to the next. So can business do business in the donut? Like this idea that we have on the middle, this lack of resources, and after that we have lack of resources as well, because we have problems with the environment and what the planet can provide. The answer does not lie in the design of your product itself. The answer lies in the design of the business itself. So you need to think about what type of business that you are doing, and also ownership matters. So this is kind about your behavior as an owner, as a leader of your enterprise. And when we're talking about business design, we are talking about precisely about next generation of business. This next generation of business that everybody is following, the new design. It's something that has a purpose. It's going to have network, just throughout your value chain, but all around with your society, with your community, with your partners and the stakeholders that you can mention. You can think about governance. How is governance going to be transparent? How can we can be accountable of our decisions? It's about ownership and the decisions that owner is doing throughout the process of developing their business, and about finances, because some of the funds that all around, they are linked to this idea that we need to have a positive impact, right? So now we are going to do a brief exercise. It's a very brief exercise. It's 4 minutes exercise. And this is why I just remembered you. Please bring with you a pen and a piece of paper, right? So our exercise is that idea. You're going to have this piece of paper. Then you are going to divide it by 3 parts, like this that you're seeing in the presentation. And you need to remember your model silk canvas. If you have it in your hands, it's going to be very easy. If you don't have in your hands, you can just think about it and do this exercise again in a brief time, in this week or next week. Okay, so let's see. What's the assignment? You are our participants, so you must answer each question in each frame. The first question, I'm going to give you 4 minutes for that, Okay, we need to be very fast tonight. And I have all these technological problems. I'm sorry, my apologies. So the first question is, what is the impact on your business model? What you have assigned as an impact in your business model? In the very beginning, when you designed your model canvas. The second question is, what elements of your business are related to circular economy? And what values of your business are related to donut economy? It's very simple, right? So I'm going to give you 4 minutes from now, right? I'm going to get you to think about it and to review your canvases, and please answer that. Then I'm going to ask you to share something about that. You don't need to show everything that you have done, but what I want is you to think. You know, we are building a new mindset. We are building a mindset that is about positive impact and how we can we improve this impact of each one of our business incubated. So, hands on. If you have any question, please open your mic or type it in the chat.
This is Mario. I can give it a try. I guess we're supposed to try to answer these questions
Of course, Mr. Lara.
based on our business model.
Yeah.
I'll start with the easy, what I think is the easy one. What values of your business are related to donut economy, right? So one of the things that we included in our business model was we want to be a farm that helps other farmers, right? So we want it to be like a training. We want to establish like a vanilla farm, but then get other people interested in cultivating and growing vanilla an organic way. So we envision doing training classes and opportunities for others. So that will help others who are in the donut hole, I guess, do better, right? So we're trying to address that issue there. If I'm understanding it right, I don't know if I understand it correctly, but that's kind of my idea. And then what elements of your business are related to circular economy? Well, another aspect of our business model is I'd like to get young people involved in running and operating the enterprise. And they would have like a stall at the farmer's market in Belmopan or at the farmer's market in San Ignacio. So they would be bringing stuff to market that, number one, adding value, right? Like you're not just growing the fruits and the vegetable, the fruits basically, or the vanilla, you're also developing it into a product that you can bring to the market. So you have an exchange, you earn revenue from that, and then you put that revenue back into the farm and to help sustain the people who are working on the farm. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of like a circular flow. The farm produces, the farm earns revenue, the revenue goes right back into the farm. And that to me kind of is in line with this kind of circular flow of an economy.
In
right?
this case, may I interrupt you just there?
Sure.
In this case, you haven't mentioned you're going to grow it organically and it's something that is agroecological way. So this is much more about circular economy that is to use the resources and not getting it negative impact in the resources.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I see it. I understand that now.
Okay, and about the impact that you have designed it for your business model in the inception model.
That one I'm struggling with. I'm not sure how to answer or respond to that one so easily. What is the impact on your business model? The impact of what on my business model?
Okay, so do you remember that we have the policy canvas? And we had the green flow. Over there, you have place an impact.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I didn't have a chance to review my canvas recently, but yeah, we want to help to address climate change and build resiliency and help the industry, the agriculture industry, transition towards a more sustainable model. That's the impact really that we hope to have, is that we would like to see Belize be a leader, you know, among nations in terms of sustainable agriculture methods and techniques. That's really the motivation behind doing something like this, is to demonstrate to farmers that an organic farm can be profitable and can be abundant, can produce abundantly, so it can, you know, it can sustain itself and it can sustain your families. You can feed your families and grow and without having, you know, impacting the environment. So that's really the impact that we hope to have.
Yeah, very good. It's a very good idea. It's a huge impact. It's a long-term impact. I appreciate you to get back what was in your mind when you started designing that, and to make sure that you are in the right path right now. Thank you so much for your contribution. Anyone else want to share something about all the three questions, or just one of the questions? Nobody?
Yes, Miss Inessa.
Yes, Mr. Khan, go ahead.
Okay, the impact of my business model was to help the climate change by deforestation. You know, deforestation has been a huge, has a high deforestation on these years. So I want to change that and motivate youth to see the vision of what I see, that we do not destroy the forest, but we can use the forest for our economy too. You know, as helping them. You don't have to destroy the forest, and you can gain from the forest, especially on beehives from honey. That's one. That's the impact. That is a long-term impact. And the circular economy. I'm saying about the circular economy is that how the video say that we need to recycle and other stuff like that. So on my business that we do, and all of other business, I see they recycle the bottle, the glass bottle, and they reuse it. And so they don't have to be producing more and more and more, but we can reuse those glass bottle, and we can help other people to have a better economy, you know, giving them some work. And the donuts economy is from the same thing that I told you. From the impact is that we help them and make them see the point of not deforesting, and that will how the video say that they'll have two works: help them from get out from the hole, and help them to save the earth, the planet. So, and that's a point of view that I'm seeing from make the youth to see from the honey and there is others things that we can gain from the forest too. I don't know if I'm correct.
Yes, you are correct. Very well. It's a very good idea. Yes, and recycling the bottles and reusing the bottles is something very important. Here in Belize, we have several different types of packaging, but you know, everybody goes to the grocery stores and there's a lot of cans and a lot of plastic. And when we realize that this is going to be harmful to the environment, we are going to change our behavior. And this is something about it's a decision. You can try other types of packaging, but in this case, you are using the most sustainable for your type of product. So well done. Okay, we need to move. We had two persons sharing. Anyone wants to make a contribution right now, or can we move to the next topic? Okay, guys, so nobody is raising their hands and nobody's opening the mic. So I'm going to share this with you all the time, as you know, and we have some information here to know more. And the videos are going to be available for you to know more about donuts economy and circular economy. Okay, so let's move to the next topic of tonight. Let's see. Okay, okay. I'm going to share my screen with our next topic. So, guys, okay, let's see now. We're now jumping to the new presentation. Very well. Okay, so we are going to stay in this topic about new economy. So we had talked about VUCA and bunny world and circular economy and donut economy, just very brief because it's the time that we have. Now we are going to talk about fair trade. I know that you have heard about fair trade. It was like 2 weeks or 1 week ago, Mr. Subramani has shared in our channel something about fair trade. Do you remember? Yes or no? Nobody remember? Okay, it was an opportunity for funding through the fair trade chain. Let's understand what fair trade is and what it comprises. So we are talking about new economies, as you say, and the fair trade. Let's get back. Fair trade is a concrete movement that have been going on for a long time. More than a framework for understanding reality, fair trade seeks to change reality using practices and methods based on well-defined principles. Okay, so what is fair trade? Fair trade offers us a description of how to combine non-conventional approaches with business skills to cope with the external environment. It describes local initiatives rooted in inclusive, community-based practices and encourages citizens to engage in participatory practices. Fair trade has principles. We have here 9 of them. Long-term direct trading relationships, payment of fair prices, no child forced or otherwise exploited labor, workplace non-discrimination, gender equity and freedom of association, democratic and transparent organizations, safe working conditions and reasonable work hours, investment in community development projects, environmental sustainability, traceability and transparency. Yes, it's again, everything is related. So what we are talking about here again, It's about positive impacts and making it better and having choices in our business and choosing those that are going to benefit not only our partners, not only the workers that are with us in this entrepreneurship, but also the neighborhood and the society. So what is fair trade? Fair trade is a global social movement whose pioneering experience started by the end of 1940 as an alternative answer to the failure of the conventional trade model. Fair trade seeks to promote productive and commercially responsible and sustainable patterns, as well as development opportunities for small farmers, peasants, and craftspeople with economic and social disadvantage compared to the dominant players in the market. We're talking about the small ones. That's what here we are, right? Fair trade is a commercial model that puts human beings and social, economic, and environmental sustainability of the society at the center, dignifying labor, respecting the environment, and encouraging a responsible and sustainable management of natural resources. Fair trade is a trading partnership based on dialogue, transparency, and respect that seeks greater equity in international trade. It contributes to sustainable development by offering better trading conditions to and securing the rights of marginalized producers and workers, especially in the South. Fair trade organizations backed by consumers are engaged actively in supporting producers' awareness, raising and campaigning for changes in the rules and practices of conventional international trade. Okay, this is very huge, right? So we are going to see, I'm going to try to make it right now. Let me know if you have any problem to listen to, then if have problems, we are going to jump to YouTube again, okay? Okay, so what is fair trade? It's an overview of these principles and how it works throughout the world.
There's a lot of talk about sustainability at the moment, but what does it all mean? And how does fair trade fit in? Well, sustainability is about more than the environment, in the same way that fair trade is about more than just fair prices. They're both about people and meeting their needs today without compromising the needs of people in the future. To do this, our economies, societies, and the environment all need to be sustainable. And you can't tackle any of these on their own, as they're closely interconnected. So, for fair trade, sustainability is about working on all of them. Whether it's fighting for a living wage for workers, training farmers to be more resilient to climate change, or enabling communities to invest in education. Fair trade empowers farmers and workers to face a range of economic, environmental, and social challenges. It's also about supporting and challenging businesses and governments to make trade fairer, and inspiring shoppers to think a bit more about what they buy. These are all foundations of sustainability. Let's give you an example. This is Teresa, a fair trade coffee farmer in Nicaragua. She wants the same things from work that you do: security, equality, and a decent income so she can build a stronger future for her family. But this isn't always easy. Farmers face all sorts of challenges and often don't have resources or the support to tackle them. So, how does fair trade make a difference? Well, Teresa's a member of a fair trade certified cooperative, an organised group of farmers who support each other, sharing knowledge about how to grow and sell coffee. This gives Teresa security, as she can sell better quality beans and earn at least the fair trade minimum price to cover the cost of producing them. She's also learning how to look after and adapt to the changing environment, which makes her livelihood more stable and her farm more environmentally friendly. Teresa's cooperative want women and men to gain equally from farming, so they've used the fair trade premium, the extra money they get to spend on business or community projects, to support women like Teresa to market their coffee and gain more independence. Teresa also used a small loan scheme funded by the premium to buy more land, which has allowed her to increase her productivity and income and make her a more reliable supplier. These economic, environmental and social impacts contribute to a more secure, equal and sustainable future for Teresa, her family and her community. And it goes wider than that. Fairtrade works with over 1 million other farmers like Teresa every year. Fairtrade also supports hundreds of thousands of workers on large plantations to improve their working conditions, their standard of living and their confidence by making sure they're treated properly. They also get the premium to invest in building a better life for themselves and their communities. So, whether you're a business managing your supply chain or a shopper deciding what goes in your basket, choosing Fairtrade contributes to a more sustainable world for us all. So there you have it. That's why Fairtrade means sustainable trade.
Okay, could you hear everything this time?
Yes.
Very good, very well. So this is from the overview of the general process. Now I'm going to go to a next video that's going to inform you
There's a lot of
about
talk.
the consumer's perspective of fair trade. Because in fair trade, the consumers, the clients, they play a whole. Okay, it's not only about organizing yourselves. It's not only about thinking your business. It's about you as a person, a natural person that stands by products that are more sustainable, that are more positive, impactful, and choosing what we want to do, right? So I'm going to play the next video. These videos are from Fair Trade, that is an organization. I'm going to talk about other types of organization that works with fair trade as well.
Excuse me, Miss Anessa, could you mute? Could you mute on your side, because both audios from mine and yours are kind of competing
Okay, I'm going to
during the
try
video.
to make it. If it is get any problem, I'm going to get back with my mic. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just let me know. So we have seen that there's some advertising over there, because they were talking about specifically fair trade as a label, as a specific organization. I was using these examples, but we have several other types of labels and other organizations that provide the same type of of programs with fair trade, and fair trade is not only about these labels, it's about all this technology that improves the conditions of lives of the communities and work with at least a minimum price that's not going to be lower than the cost that is recognized for any one of that products they are working with. Okay, so the fair trade labels is a special mark that we are going to put on our product or a service for say which certifies that specific standards have been implemented for the production of the product or service. What type of specific standards? It's about the principles. We are saying that the principles have been used, and the principles are going to be, you have evidences that these principles have been put in place. So the labels can apply to products or organizations. Fair trade labels mainly apply to product supply chains. It's not for organizations itself. It's about the supply chain that we are covering with that product. In the fair trade sector, there is no public label. All the labels are private. Okay, so this is why we have a kind of advertisement before. So fair trade labels, these are the most well-known fair trade labels. We have Fair for Life, World Fair Trade, there's Fair for Nutrition Fair, Fair Trade USA, AIDS, and Fair Trade and SPP. Fair Trade and SPP are available for Belizean producers. Okay, the other labels are not introduced right now in Belize. So I would invite you to take a look on these and to get a time to go through it in their websites and understand how can these fit for your proposals and how can you get or join to fair trade value chain. Right. So again, this is about decisions. This is about impact. This is about to have resilience and getting a sustainable mindset for your business. Okay, then. And the next, in our next information, you're going to see that all of this information is other YouTube videos. We are going to have information about the principles, the different projects, and this one, the clarkcommerciojusto.org, that is about the region of Caribbean, the Caribbean region, and the Caribbean region, we have several possibilities to join fair trade. But even if your product is not in this concept right now, every time they are improving and the principles are very important, then you can just join by the principles, and in a further moment, maybe it's going to be available for you to get this trademark or this label about fair trade. Okay, then we got it. We are in the end of our day. We have, I'm going to invite you to play. This is a game, not that type of game. It's a very short game. It's just 2 minutes game. What I'm going to make is I'm going to put in the chat the information. We can use the English version or the Spanish version. What version do you want, guys? Tonight you can just choose. Who wants the English version? Please raise your hand. Two persons? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Put your hands low, please. Let's take a look. And who wants to get the Spanish version? One. Nobody else? Okay, then let's jump to the 2. Okay. Okay, we are going to stick on the English version, but I'm going to provide you the other version as well. Okay, then you can use the both. We have it in French and Portuguese. That's my mother language, and we have it in Italian, I think, and we have several languages. But let's stick with the English version right now. Okay, this is the what we need to play this game is a computer or smartphone and internet access that all of us we have it, and there's a link to the game. The game is called El Precio del Chocolate, or the chocolate price. You're going to see this type of information on your screen, right? I'm going to show you all about it. And the time that you get to get to the end of this game is 2 minutes. It's very quick. And if you are not going to be able to get in 2 minutes, you can restart it, right? What is going to occur? You're going to start the game just by clicking in play, and we are going to inform the percentage of each cost component of a chocolate in a transaction where there is no fair trade. It's a regular transaction. What we are trying to see here, when we pay for chocolate, who is going to receive more income from that small candy bar? This is what fair trade is just trying to make different. Okay, so what we are going to see, we are going to put the percentage of transport and maintenance, processing, marketing, supermarket profits, local taxes, production costs, and the percentage taken by the farmer. Right? It's going to appear for you. You need to read it and just inform where you think. It's very simple. You're just going to click in a small box that you have, and you are going to get the information. And after that, we are going to be here again together, and we are going to jump into some such conclusions about that. Right? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let me get to right now. Okay, you're going to see this is very simple. We have several information about fair trade, and there are other games, but the price of chocolate is our game right now. Can you see it? It's just to put in play, and we are going to choose. For example, process. It's 20%, 10%. It's what is the right information. Okay, it's very, very simple. Okay, now I'm going to put in the chat the link. And we are going to have the time to play it. Okay, so please click on the link. You're going to see that starting page, then you click on the chocolate game, and this is going to give you the opportunity to start the game. Please go ahead and let me know when you are done. Of course, if you have any problem, please let me know as well. Yeah, Mr. Lara, get to the end of it. Anybody else? Yes, one.
I did activity.
You did it? Okay, thank you so much. Lucinda is done. Anybody else? Then I can share the results. It's a very simple game and very interesting to understand how it works. Okay, so let's review the answers. We are going to see that transport and maintenance is 12% of the cost of the price of the chocolate, the candy bar. Processing is 7%. Marketing is up to 10%. Supermarket profits, 43%. Local taxes is, this is an average all around the world, and is 5%. Production costs, 20%. And the percentage taken by the farmer in average worldwide is 3%. Okay, so let me hear your ideas about that. Have you ever thinking about it, that the farmer is going to have 3% and the supermarket is going to have 43% and the production costs are only 20%? What do you think about it?
I did not know. I from what I heard about or from other like farmers, I'm aware that they only make a little bit of profit, but I did not know the supermarket profit wasn't that much.
Yeah, it's kind of surprisingly, right? What else can we can think about what we just have here as an example?
Well, from the example, we can see that the farmer has the least, I would say the least revenues generated compared to the supermarket profits.
Yes, Mr. Crowell, that's it. And Mr. Lara is saying that doesn't sound fair. Capital investments make more profit than labor. Yeah, that what this type of initiative, the fair trade initiative, wants to get it, more well balanced. We need to balance this because the farmer are the small workers, the small ones, and they are crushed by this disproportion, So when we are talking about resilience, we are talking about principles, we are talking about that. We need to get it more fair, right? So this is something to think about. I'm not saying that it's going to be exactly like that in every chain, but most of the chains, we are going to see this. When we are talking about veggies, this is quite similar to that. And when we are talking about some other types of products, right? I know that part of you are doing things, the things, this the production until putting it in packages and selling it directly straight to the grocery stores. So this is kind of the idea of fair trade. Then you get from your side to the next side without much more costs that are going to lower your income. This is one of the aspects of fair trade, but there are other aspects. Remember, we have not only the labeling, but the premium that's going to develop your communities. And at the same time, we have this sustainable principles. These principles are very, very important, right? So any other comment, any other question about that? Mr. Khan, Ms. Roberto Khan, Mr. Roberto Khan saying, we need to break the chain with the middleman. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes the middleman is going to be a stakeholder that's going to help to export, for instance. We can't export without some middlemen because we have several steps to take, of course. But when we get the middleman through all this chain, and it's not one middleman, it's several middlemen, we are going to have problems, and we are going to get lower and lower prices for our products, right? So to be more profitable, we need to think about this. And remember, it's not only about the farmer. We have the other side. The customers need to understand that. We need to inform them, and they need to stick with more reliable value chains and more sustainable value chains. Okay? Do you want to share anything else, guys? From all of our discussion tonight, the new concepts.
I'll say yes, miss. Everything was pretty clear. Yeah, and it makes sense on the middleman and how it affects the farmer when he gets the lowest profits. Yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, I understand that the fair trade, what is trying to bring to the farmer, for him to have more than what he used to have before.
Yeah, that's it. It's to make it more balanced. Yes, Mr. Crow?
I think this is a reality that we as farmers are living or experiencing, because as we don't have maybe like innovative technologies to improve our production system, right, and to generate more revenues, as for example marketing, those industries that have their big how would say, they have better opportunities, so for example to export. And for example, the price, when it comes to the price to pay to the small scale farmer, maybe a pound of corn, maybe at 20 cents, and then they manage to sell that to over maybe at 60 cents when exporting, or more than that. So it is the reality that and there is where the fair trade comes. And I think with that, then if that could be balanced, then farmers would be satisfied as well.
Yeah, they're going to be satisfied and satisfy their needs. Remember the donuts? Some farmers are with that, they're in the middle of that donut.
Yes.
Yeah, that's something very important to remember. Okay. Someone is typing. Let's see what is going to show up. Anyone want to share any thoughts about that right now? Okay, someone stop it to share. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Lara.
I was going. This is a very complex topic, and you've simplified it very well, and took a very complex topic and helped us to understand it. What I struggle with is that some farmers don't even farm on their own land, and they have to pay rent, and we didn't even talk about that. That the owners of land end up making more than the actual people putting in the labor to do the farming. But there really needs to be legislation to make it a more even playing field, because it's difficult for one individual farmer to try to do the right thing, and when others, it's like we're competing to the bottom. Everybody wants to pay their workers the least amount that they can pay them to get away with getting the most out of them. Right now in Belize, the whole conversation about minimum wage is happening, and as you can see, the owners of capital don't necessarily want to support that because, well, it eats into the profits that they're making. So it's a very complex problem, but I appreciate you sharing it. And it's the challenge that developing countries face, right? Where we're trying to develop the economy, but to do it in a modern global economy, sometimes it's tough. And I'm glad that these conversations are being had to where we're trying to do things differently. And hopefully Belize, again, in the region, will be an area that leads in terms of example of valuing labor and the hard work that folks have to do to bring a product to market, rather than, like we said, the middleman, the ones who own the capital. That, so it's a good conversation to be had, and it's really hopeful and good that Belize and the government is educating folks in this way. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Lara. It's a very complex discussion. Of course, it's not. It has roots in this history of Belize, of course, and all the developing countries and the small countries in the region. All of them are facing this type of challenges, but we need to talk about it. And the public policies has a role to play. We know we have several stakes to put together. We have the customer, we have the farmers, the producers, we have the government. So we need to put all of them in this discussion and think about what is the best solution. And public policies, again, is something that's going to be virtually to take this lead, as you mentioned. The public policies play the huge role, right? So anybody else? Okay, then. So, guys, what I have to you, Mr. Itza. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Carlos Itza. Please share your comments.
Yes, good night, everybody. I wanted to share with you, Inessa, that Belize do have fair trade in several products. No, we have fair trade in cacao, sugarcane, and also in a couple of months from now, we might have also coconut production under fair trade. Very important is that, for example, I know the cane farmers in the past used to get up to $10 million in premiums from fair trade, no, depending on the amount of sugar that is exported to the different markets. Important also for you to know that fair trade favors a lot of the small farmers, not necessarily the big ones. They usually look for small associations of farmers because they know that this is the biggest segment that has a lot of vulnerability, no? Additionally, also fair trade does not only look at the type of production, but also those aspects of environment, social, child labor are elements that are very critical in the fair trade certification process, no? Even though many people would think that it's difficult, it is not too difficult to certify for fair trade. It becomes difficult because sometimes farmers don't work together. That's the biggest problem we have. In Belize, of course, many organizations that sometimes have been certified through fair trade sometimes have had more problems when receiving money than when they never had fair trade. And the problem has to do with the governance of the associations, no? Farmers many times sometimes feel that they are losing money, but I think it's also the process of working together, no? As I mentioned in my comment, an individual might not be able to do all the value chain of a product, but if they work in groups, they can control from the seed up to the marketing of their product. But the problem is that they have to work together. And I think that's more easily said than done, no? Because um, we see many groups don't want to work together. I mean, everybody wants to do their own because they feel they are robbed then. Meanwhile, I believe the power of grouping is that you can generate more premiums and benefit from individual farmers, but it depends who are your leaders, no? And I think I will leave it there, no?
Very good explanation, Carlos. I want to agree with you. And before open the mic from Albert, I want to raise something. If you are just alone, as Mr. Lara has informed here, that the farmer is an individual, how can you get the public policies? How can you get this transformation? We need to work in groups. There's no way. So there's something about, of course, cooperatives, about associations, about groups, but it's about a movement to get together. And of course, this is about negotiation. So to get together is not about to stick in a rule and someone as the only leader. We were talking about leadership last session, and we need to inform that, to remember that leaders are empowered by those that are part of the group. So we need to understand that and move towards making these as a chain of persons that want to get somewhere. So we need to have goals, we need to have leaders, we need to have negotiation and to work together, right? It's not so easy. Okay, I'm going to open to Albert that has raised his hand. Please go ahead, Mr. Johnston.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to add, or well, not add, but maybe kind of ask what Mr. Carlos was mentioning. Of course, when he mentioned it would be better for it to be a more group work, for of course to get assistance from for fair trade, because like all the conversations that what has been going on, the main basis of the problem, I believe, is that the individuals have this lack of funding. Of course, they might be very talented, but they are lacking the opportunity, of course, to have maybe an initial funding to boost start their enterprise. Basically, what is happening to us is what is majority lacking in most of the legions, in my opinion. And this idea of grouping is very, like he said, it's much easier said than done, because it's logistically speaking as well. You have to reach across people several lanes. There's a lot of things behind it to group a group together. But like in my case, I would just kind of share my business. It would definitely looking like a group can be formed in different aspects of the production, meaning we'll have, since I'm doing poultry, some people will be raising the chicks. There's another section slaughtering the chicks, and along with slaughtering the chicks, sorry, not chicks, but chickens, along with slaughtering the chickens, they can definitely go ahead in the same group and sell this out to the communities and to the restaurants and so on. So this idea of a group, and if you can get funding to better, of course, which of course with the funding comes all the opportunities that kind of rise from bettering your business, bettering your family, your community. In my sense, I'm looking at it as hunger eradication, because if you're hungry, you're gonna kill a chicken and you're gonna eat it. So we're gonna try to wipe out hunger. Get just being hungry. In that sense, not you don't have to work for the money to buy food. The chicken is the food, right? So I do really like the idea of the group formation, and definitely to seek out businesses, I'm sorry, organizations. It's like fair trade to help out the small farmers, because you might have all the money, but that does not mean you have all the know-how to do the job. Most of the time, you'd find with more experienced persons, they're lacking the funds to maybe to start a job or a business or something like that, and to finding the in between, to helping the poor, with what the idea is that they have to generate money and to help their families get out of poverty and hunger. That's excellent. I really like the idea that it has.
Thank you, Mr. Justin. Yeah, I do agree with you as well. It's something that we need to get through. That's a lot of work to get there. That's not no rush to get there. We need to understand what are the benefits, what are the pros and the cons, and make it step by step. It's not something that we're going to start from today and get it tomorrow, right? So, okay, thank you for your contribution. Anyone else? Okay, from my end, I'm very glad for this discussion. It was a very good discussion. We are talking about mindset, sustainability, the difficulties to get through this process and to get, as Mr. Lara has said, Belize leading this type of discussion and making it different and making your business to grow in a such different way, and with the as sustainability and a positive impact. So I'm not going to be with you again, guys, but I want to share with you an assignment. This is an informal assignment, but I would like you to make it. Get back to your modesty canvas this week. Remember this discussion that we are having right now, and realize what you can improve in the impact side, right hand side, green flow, remember? But also stop for a while and take a look in the whole picture that you have designed for your business 6 months ago when you have started this incubation process. And if you can, if you feel comfortable to, you can improve it. You're going to have a next version of your canvas, Model C canvas, right? This is very important because all the time when we get these inputs, these trainings, the mentorship sessions, and all the information that's available, now you have the grants. Some of you, now you are in the next level of discussion of your ideas. So we started with the ideation process. Then we started the training, the grants, and the mentorship. Now you were with new skills, with a new mindset, and with a lot of new competencies that you can put to work in your business. Okay, so please take a look, take your time to do that, and please do it until this Monday, right? Because it's going to be very fresh in your mind. Okay, so from my end, it's all. Thank you so much for this very interesting session. I'm sorry, my apologies to be in a rush with all these concepts that are very, very strong concepts, but at least we could have the time to discuss these important concepts and these important situations that you farmers from Belize that you are living with. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Inessa.
Thank you as well.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, Donna. Good night, everybody. Take care. Sorry, take care.